What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka All Fires. Now, one by one, with scoops across the industry, we've started to see a small glimpse of what Phase 7 and the beginning of the Mutant Saga may look like. Movies like Black Panther 3 and the X-Men reboot have already been confirmed. Movies like Shang-Chi 2 and Thor 5 are very likely, as we've been talking about them at the channel, but there is one film now that we are hearing from a trusted industry insider source that is in development at Marvel, and if true, seems to be the continuation of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, but under a brand new team name, none other than the Annihilators. We're going to break down where this came from, what he said, and what it exactly means for this next saga, as well as some small details about why they may have specifically gone with Shakman, Silver Surfer, and the Fantastic Four, well, because we're going to get Nor and Rad with the Annihilators. We're breaking it all down, this latest revelation that an Annihilators film is now in pre-development at Marvel Studios. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing recently, and if you haven't already, I just kindly invite you to do so. It's the number one thing you can do to support us as content creators, plus it'll enter you for the giveaways if you want. Stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this latest scoop comes from the industry insider source Daniel Rickman. You guys can follow him over on Twitter for free at DanielRPK. He posts scoops there, but most active on his Patreon. This was his latest update for Marvel and Star Wars, in which he indicated, quote, an Annihilators movie is in development at Marvel Studios. Now, if you're not familiar with the Annihilators, they are one of my favorite and maybe one of the most OP teams Marvel has ever assembled in the comics, and really, it's not even close. How it goes in the comics is that Cosmo, after Star-Lord dies and after a string of cosmic incidents, decides to put together a team in Star-Lord's memory, calls them the Annihilators, and this is the team that he assembles. Ronan the Accuser, Gladiator, Quasar, Beta Ray Bill, and Silver Surfer. Now, in the comics, the team first assembled in the Thanos Imperative back in 2011, which was a 4-issue limited series, but it also had a backup featuring Groot and Rocket Raccoon. I think that's the tie-in here, and so very clearly, where they left off with Guardians of the Galaxy, and a pretty high-powered team at that, including Adam Warlock, they could simply supplement that lineup and rebrand as the Annihilators, no longer the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, does this foreshadow perhaps the death of Peter Quill sometime in the future of the MCU? I don't think necessarily, because he's already separated from the team and Rocket's now the captain. However, what it does do is set us up for some very, very awesome cosmic happenings in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for what we all think is pretty clearly the Mutant Saga. What we've been hearing about more and more is stuff basically set in space. Now, it was pretty public that the Nova TV show that got pretty far in pre-development has now been publicly put on hold over at Marvel Studios, but literally the day before that announcement came, we heard that Henry Cavill had actually signed on to play Annihilus, the villain in that film, and from several sources in the industry. What's more is that industry insiders have indicated that Annihilus is still going to be in the future of the MCU and could even lead to an Annihilation Wave event. Now, we're getting way ahead of ourselves, and actually, in the comic books, one of those cosmic threats that led Cosmo to forming this team was the Annihilation Wave event, so this was formed in the wake of that, but doesn't mean they couldn't scramble some things around. Plus, let's face it, the MCU is running on nobody's timeline but their own, pun totally intended. Now look, Daniel RPK's track record being what it is, he sort of earned the reverence that we give him here at the channel, but two things can be true. This scoop can be true about it being in pre-development, and there's a chance we never get an Annihilators film only because of how hard Marvel Studios has pivoted and what they actually put out. That said, pre-development is a long way from a release date, but thinking out loud, and if there is truth to this, this is why you don't blow Nor and Rad's Silver Surfer in a timeline that may be destroyed, left behind, or not even exist after Avengers Secret Wars. This is why you use Shakman, Silver Surfer in this Fantastic Four in an alternate timeline, and when they finally get to the 616 and Secret Wars is over, we still have Nor and Rad Silver Surfer in our timeline, so he can join the Annihilators and be a part of the MCU's future. And look, may this be some sort of big echo chamber of me just having wishful thinking? Yeah, maybe, but also I think it actually tracks. Speaking of which, there's a lot of other things that track as well. We know we're getting an X-Men reboot, and we assume that at some point throughout that X-Men timeline, in what we still think is the Mutant Saga, we'll get the introduction of the Shi'ar Empire. That's how you could get the introduction of Gladiator to this team. And for that Nova TV show that was canceled, now presumably because the budget was way too high for how they're going to do grounded street level TV shows going forward, they could be looking to roll the Nova character into the team as well. And this all comes down to basically extending the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise beyond James Gunn. It doesn't really make sense to make a Guardians of the Galaxy 4, but what would make sense is to take whatever was left of the Guardians team at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, amend the lineup a little bit, and give us an Annihilators team. The Fantastic Four, which will have their second movie in the next saga, are obviously always an adventure team in space, in other dimensions, all over the place, especially if they have a grown Franklin Richards. Annihilus has historically always been a Fantastic Four villain. We also know that part of the X-Men storyline takes place in space, and obviously, if this Annihilators movie ends up getting made, it would take place in space as well. So while the next saga may be focused on mutants, the X-Men, and their trials and tribulations here in the 616, whatever's left over after Secret Wars, it still seems like Marvel has lots of plans to keep exploring the cosmic side as well, especially with an Annihilators team. And look, of all of these possible titles that we've heard in the rumor mill, man, this is certainly one that I hope that they see all the way through to actually making. The Annihilators are so OP. It would be so fun to see this team in action, especially if they add the likes of Adam Warlock and Rocket Raccoon. There are so many storylines left they could go into, and I obviously think it is an amazing idea and a way to maintain the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise when really you don't want to do another Guardians title without James Gunn. Marvel Studios is smart enough to know that. Leave that alone. Just make it turn basically into a new thing. The way that they took the 3 seasons of What If, and they've turned them into what looks like will be an Exile show going forward. You guys let me know though all your thoughts down below, really in reaction to any and all of this, and if they are going to do an Annihilators in the MCU, give me your lineup, who you got. I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. We're doing that for every Marvel drop this year. The next one is Ironheart next month, Fantastic Four the month after that. Then we've got Marvel Zombies, Eyes of Wakanda, and I think one other Marvel show before the end of the year. If you want to be entered to win, either for the PlayStations or any of the other giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here, live with my voice and the winning comment shown on screen when there is one. So please be safe and vigilant, really anywhere on YouTube, any channel that's doing giveaways. If you should ever get any spam in the comments claiming you've won and trying to get you to pay for shipping, just kindly remember anybody can take a content creator's photo, claim to be them. No content creator, myself included, is ever going to charge you for shipping. Just report those comments directly to YouTube. They're swift about deleting those accounts. The best way to keep up with this channel is to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places. Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name AllFires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.